Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the opening ceremony of CEI 2024 Sweden. I think we've all been extremely excited for this moment. 352 days since it was announced in Indonesia last year. We are currently standing in Landskrona Theatre, a magnificent building with lots of history to it. So I would please welcome Jonas from the theatre, and I would also like to welcome the president of the Swedish branch of CEI, Karin Varlin.
Thank you very much. Welcome, guys, to our lovely theatre here in Landskrona. It's a pleasure to have you here. My name is Jonas Appelqvist. I work as a producer here at this theatre. We're going to have a good time here tonight, this morning, at the opening ceremony, and then on Wednesday evening as well, for the cultural night. I'm just going to go over some of the details that are a bit more like, necessary. We know where the toilets are, and if we need to evacuate the building, we just follow the green signs over the doors with the arrows, and then we go downstairs. And then we'll meet up at the theater park, which is in the right-hand side from where I'm standing here. The right-hand side for you guys, the left-hand side for me. And we have the volunteers, and we have staff from the theater that will take care of you if we need to evacuate, of course. Toilets are over there. If you look at the walls, it will say toilet in Swedish, or toaletter. That means that there's toilets on this floor and on downstairs floor as well. So, I'll leave you to it, to Karin. Thank you, guys.
Dear caretakers from countries all over the world, dear teachers, students, dear guests, all of you sitting here in this theatre hall, as well as all of you who are participating digitally. Let me welcome you to the 38th Conference for Caretakers of the Environment, CEI 2024, in the city of Landskrona in Sweden. Welcome. My name is Karin Varlin, and I'm the chairman of the Swedish branch of Caretakers. And I welcome you today as the host of CEI 2024. Our branch started in 1994. So this year, it is our 30th year's anniversary. The theme of CEI 2024, as you all know, is education, regulation, and collaboration for a sustainable future. Education. Well, I've been a teacher for a long time. Many of you are also teachers or have been teachers. I have taught science for many, many years, and then ecology, biodiversity, and about environmental problems. And teaching this can be quite frustrating sometimes. It is important to gain knowledge, yes, but it's not until our dear students take that knowledge and act with their hearts that education can reach its full potential. And this you have done. You have prepared your projects that will be presented this week, and that will be exciting. Many of you students have also completed the online course New Young Masters Program. We call it a pre-conference in March this year. Many of you attended this pre-conference. You met digitally. You were in breakout rooms. You shared your experience and you discussed. And I want to thank you for your commitment doing this and also for your all positive reactions. The chat line that we could read was fantastic. Then regulations are also, of course, important. It's valuable to look into laws and regulations, and the laws and regulations on a local, on a regional, on a national, and an international level. And on this conference, let us inspire each other. Dear students, maybe it will be you who set up the rules and laws in your country in the future. Then collaboration, well, collaboration, the whole essence of our network, Caretakers of the Environment, is collaboration across borders. Finally, I'd like to thank the city of Landskrona for the great support that we've had in organizing CEI 2024. A big thank you to all my dear Swedish colleagues from the Swedish branch, all the volunteers, the fantastic alumni. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone active and involved. Now, let's make this an unforgettable week. Make friends, create networks, inspire each other, and have fun while doing it. Hereby, we open the CEI 2024 in Landskrona. Thank you.
Thank you, Karin, chairperson of the organizing committee. We will now move on to a person who works for Landskrona. The city has been kind enough and been our main sponsor, and we would like to thank them for their contribution. As we come together to address pressing environmental issues, it is essential to recognize the local leaders who are making significant strides towards sustainability in their communities. We are delighted to have the chairperson of the Municipality Steering Group of Landskrona, the Mayor of Landskrona, Torkild Strandberg.
Thank you so much, and welcome to all of you to Sweden, and welcome to Landskrona. And I must say, and this isn't prepared, a special welcome to the Taiwanese delegation. In the early 20th century, I was a member of parliament, and I went with a delegation similar to yours to Taiwan, and I never thought I would welcome a delegation from Taiwan to little Landskrona in Sweden. Very welcome, especially to you. It's a great honor and a great joy for me and our city to welcome young people from all corners of the world to us. You come to Sweden at the very best time of the year. In Sweden, the seasons are very present and the differences between them are great. For much of the year, darkness characterizes our part of the world, but now, starting in May, the light returns. In northern Sweden, so much that the sun never sets, not even at night. So, the Swedish early summer is the very essence of Sweden, when Sweden is at its very best. You are here because of an important matter. It's about our environment, our climate, and actually about our survival. There are no alternatives. Together, we have to succeed. In this moment, glaciers are melting, seas are rising, and our weather is becoming increasingly unpredictable. The urgency has never been greater. If we do not pick up the pace, we are facing a global climate crisis with far-reaching and devastating consequences. And now we are in the middle of a crucial stage of the transition, which will determine whether we succeed or not. But there are also, of course, opportunities. In Landskrona, the transition is now taking place very quickly. In just a few years, the city's car fleet has gone from being completely fossil-powered to being almost completely fossil-free. We are ranked to be the second best city in Sweden. Our companies are installing solar cells at a rate none of us thought possible just a few short years ago. And now you are here, young people with a commitment that is crucial. It is a particular case we will take our starting point together. Collaboration is needed on all levels between youth and the elderly generation, between the public sector and the business community. This afternoon we will see an exhibition with different examples of how we can collaborate and examples where local companies have been engaged. Finally, I would like to thank Karin Wallin for her tireless commitment and for your ability to take things from words to action. Thank you, Karin. So, finally, once again, thank you for being here, for engaging in our future. I hope you will have an unforgettable stay in Europe, in Sweden, and in Landskrona. Very welcome to us.
Before you leave the stage, we would like to give you something. So I would please like Dalila to join me on stage.
Hi everyone, my voice is quite high, so I do hope... Oh, okay, you can hear me anyway. So, as many of you know, this is the Global Forum. It is our magazine. In here you can read all about our projects and the different articles that are written by alumni and different members of the caretakers. Now, if you draw this bow, it will symbolize the opening of this year's Global Forum, and at that point it will also be online. So.
I think you'll have to hold that one. No. Who has done this? Thank you.
Thank you, Dalila, and thank you, Torkild. And thank you to the city of Landskrona. As we gather here to discuss crucial environmental issues, it is a privilege to have the support and encouragement of leaders dedicated to sustainability and environmental preservation. We are honored to have received a special message from the Minister of Environment of Sweden, Romina Pourmokhtari. Although the Minister couldn't be with us in person today, they have sent us a video that says and shares the insights and support for our conference. Please join me in welcoming the Minister of the Environment of Sweden, Romina Pourmokhtari.
Hi, my name is Romina Pourmokhtari and I am Sweden's Minister for Climate and the Environment. And I want to give you all a warm welcome to Sweden and to Landskrona. I hope that you are eager to collaborate, gain new knowledge and develop valuable ideas to advance our climate and environmental efforts over the coming days. As we all know, climate change is already affecting us with wildfires, droughts, floods and biodiversity loss. And this shows the urgency and necessity of rapidly transitioning towards fossil-free and carbon-neutral economies in the coming decades, in Sweden, in Europe, and throughout the world. We have set ambitious goals for reducing our emissions, and it is crucial that our targets, such as the Paris Agreement, are matched with climate policies that deliver real results to that extent. In Sweden, we aim to achieve net zero emissions by 2045 and attain negative emissions thereafter. And the EU aims to become the world's first climate-neutral continent by 2050. Every country must meet its commitments to achieve the 1.5-degree goal of the global Paris Agreement. And as we transition for climate, biodiversity must also grow and thrive. This is about saving our planet. And I would argue that this is the most important challenge that humanity has ever faced. As IPCC Chair Jim Ski has often emphasized, we have the resources to meet this challenge, we have the tools, the capabilities, and the technology. Now what we need is to act. We are currently in a very critical phase of climate transition, where emissions must not only be reduced rapidly, but we also need to shift our entire societies towards zero emissions. And at the same time, biodiversity needs to increase with more protected nature reserves, more measures for a sustainable environment with vibrant oceans, cleaner air, and growing forests. So your ideas and contributions are therefore very valuable. One of the themes for this conference is affordable and clean energy, and this is one of the most important issues for the climate and environment. Sweden has already had a close to fossil-free electricity supply and affordable prices for quite some time, but as major parts of our industry and transport sectors are in the midst of electrifying, consumption will increase rapidly. And Sweden needs to plan for at least 300 terawatt-hours of electricity by 2045, which is more than a doubling of the electricity production of 140 terawatt-hours that we have right now. Now, I've also done some counting, and with the EU Commission's strategy of Clean Planet for All, the demand for clean energy will be up to 14,000 terawatt-hours. Now, that would require our growth of solar and wind power to go 16 times faster in the coming 25 years than it has grown in the past 20 years. And even with that, we would still lack about 15% of the energy necessary. So I am a firm believer that those 15% need to come from nuclear power. And as we research to advance all of these technologies on clean energy sources, I am sure that we can achieve this challenge as well. And this will require, of course, substantial investments in a new electricity grid. We know that wind power is growing fast and that nuclear power will have a central role in creating the security and reliability of the energy supply that we need. And my government is working very hard on exactly this right now, how we can create those optimal conditions for an efficient expansion of our clean energy system that allows our industry and transport, that stands for 2/3 of Sweden's emissions, to go down to zero by using electricity instead. And I know that you who are listening right now, you're working together here at this conference and in your home countries as well for a better environment and reduced climate impact. And this is work that I want to say that I truly appreciate, because it is crucial that as many people as possible work to create the difference of creating more sustainable societies and creating those reducing of emissions. And I hope that you take the opportunity to discuss the more difficult questions that we need to resolve right now regarding how to reach the goals that we have set up and create a prosperous modern society with sustainability at its core. And I know that you have worked on sustainability projects at home that you will now showcase, and you will showcase those efforts together. And I wish you great success with this and with the other parts of the conference. And I thank you for allowing me to share some of my thoughts with you today. Best of luck.
Thank you, Romina, for your message to the caretakers of the environment. We will now move on to the keynote speech of today. As the theme of the conference is Education, Regulation and Collaboration for a Sustainable Future, we would like to welcome Frances Bray. Please give her a warm welcome.
Hello everybody. It's a great honor to be here today, seeing so many. Well, I actually don't see you because I've Alumni, but knowing there are lots of young, enthusiastic people and lots of good teachers around here. So I'm a professor in sustainable mobility at Chalmers University of Technology. It's in Gothenburg. It's up the coast here from Sweden, a few hours from here. I also work quite closely to local politicians both in Gothenburg City and in the region around Gothenburg, helping them on climate issues. I've been teaching about sustainability for both PhDs, as those doing their doctoral degree, and doing engineering degrees at Chalmers for the last 20 years. And I also do some work supporting organizations in Brussels in their lobbying and working towards politicians there. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background, but as some of you here, education is one of the themes, as I'm a teacher, even if it's at the university level. We'll start with a little history, because it's always good to go back in time and see where we are on. So the modern environmental movement started somewhere in the 60s, 70s, and there are a lot of different works and things you can go back to, but I would want to highlight this report. Partially because it came from some researchers in the US, so it was called Limits to Growth. It was one of the first big models that tried to see, can we model the future of the Earth? What is going to happen in the future if we continue using resources and having the economic growth that we had? And so here is your first graph, because of course as a professor from University of Technology I have to have some graphs. So the first graph here, it's fairly simple, but this was one of the results that they had, which was kind of gloomy, if you would put it that way, because in their different models what they saw is, if you see that black line, that you would have a collapse of the population when you moved forward, either because of resources would go down, or pollution would increase too much, or you would not have enough food to actually support a growing population. Now you can imagine this report became very much discussed. There was a lot of criticism, a lot of alarm that, oh, we have to do something about this. But one of the criticisms that came up was coming from developing countries. So this was in the beginning of the 70s. A lot of countries were just gaining independence from colonialism. They just saw their chance to be able to have economic development, to move out of poverty. And then all of a sudden, there were some rich industrial people from the US saying, oh, we have limits to growth. We can't continue having economic growth. And they said, but what about us? So on that one hand, you had the environmental movement that said we can't continue having economic growth because that's going to destroy our environment. And on the other side, you had the development movement saying, hey, we have to be able to move out of poverty. We have to be able to have a good life just as you've had. And that's where the concept of sustainable development came in, where sustainable development is a balance between these two, because we can't forget these both sides. We have to work on the one hand with environment and ensuring that we have a good environment with resources for future generations, but we also have to make sure that people can have a good life, and that people that are living in economic difficult situations, that don't have enough food to put on their tables, can be able to develop and have a chance as well. And so it's the balance between these two. It's on the one side the environment, on the other side the social movement, and we have to keep those two balanced. And that's a huge challenge. And it's a huge challenge today when humans are the biggest force that are impacting our environment and our world so much. So we have pollution, we have climate change, you've already heard about it. We have issues about plastics and contamination in the ocean. We have biodiversity loss and leading towards what's called the sixth extinction, with the largest extinction of species and animals that we see in time, through history. But we also have issues about hunger. We still have 783 million people that are going hungry. Many of those are children. We still have issues about equality. I don't know how many of you, Me Too was a short movement, but it's still out there. It was about all the women, and that the majority of women, if I wouldn't say all women, that have experienced some kind of sexual harassment, even if it might be just being called dirty words. But it's also a question about refugees from war, from famine, from different issues. And we have to learn how to tackle these at the same time. Now I see maybe many of you don't have the t-shirt on today, but on the back side you have it. You have the Sustainable Development Goals. They're one of the tools to be able to tackle all these issues at the same time. And that's what you have to also remember, that with these goals, they have to be tackled at the same time. You can't just choose one or two of them, because we have to keep working on it. So how can we work on these issues? Well, there is some inspiration out there. And one of this, I think, inspiring is this. How many of you, do you recognize who this is? Yes. Greta Thunberg, right? Great. Yeah, so you all know this is Fridays for the Future, the Greta Thunberg movement that went out, started in Stockholm, spread to the world, with young people being out protesting and demanding actually change and action for climate change. Now some of you might think of, oh, this maybe didn't lead to anything, we still have a lot of problems, CO2 emissions are still increasing. But I want to actually show you that this is not true. This actually led to a big difference. So not as many of you might know who this is, right? No, right? Nobody knows that. So this is, there's a little bit of a hint in the background. It says the European Green Deal. This is Frans Timmermans. Frans Timmermans is a Dutch politician who was EU Commissioner and who is one of the architects behind the European Green Deal. You heard before about Europe planning to be climate neutral by 2050. But this is in an interview when Frans Timmermans at the end said, this is what he said: EU wouldn't have a plan to be climate neutral without Greta Thunberg. So the fact that there were young people out in the streets demonstrating in the numbers that they were actually was a wake-up call for these politicians, such as Frans Timmermans, realizing that they had to do something, that they had an obligation to do something for the youth of tomorrow, for youth of today, so that they would have a future for tomorrow. And that pushed the politicians to do some of the most ambitious climate plans that we have globally. Because through this climate neutral plan, they actually created a whole network of different types of regulations and legislations, which has the target of reducing emissions on the path towards climate neutrality with 55% by 2030. And I strongly believe, just as Timon said, that they would not have done this had there not been these big strikes. And here, these are in all different areas. It's all from mobility to different how you handle forests. It's about charging stations. It's about a social climate fund of how you can support people that have less economic possibilities. There is about renewable energy, energy efficiency, about using less. Now, of course, this is not perfect, because there are loopholes in there are ways of getting out of it, but it's a huge step in the right direction that we have to ensure continues working in this direction. So why do we need regulations? Why are regulations important? So here I'm going to take one example from my area of research, and that's CO2 emissions from cars. And so CO2 emissions from cars is one of the big, transport stands for about 1/4 of the CO2 emissions in the European Union, and a large part of it actually comes from cars. Now, in the beginning of the year 2000 and so on, one started realizing, okay, these are a problem, we have to do something about it. And the politicians started talking with car industry, and the car industry said, oh, you don't need to regulate us, we'll do it, we do it on our own. We have good technology, we know how to reduce CO2 emissions, we will handle it. And so the commission said, okay, you just have to report every year, like the CO2 emissions of the cars that are sold and so on, and then we see how the progress goes on. So they started, and the progress was really slow. It was just a reduction of 1% per year. So the politicians realized, okay, this is not working. The voluntary agreements with the industry is not working. We need to. And so they started putting in regulations, which meant that the car companies that didn't meet the reduction targets that were set, they would have to pay fines. Oops, all of a sudden it went downwards to -4% per year. Now you see the line there is bumping up, there are some hiccups along the line, and there were some issues. And now to be within the 54-55 where they realized they've actually set the target of having banned cars, fossil fuel cars going on gasoline and diesel as in new sales. The old ones will still be allowed, but in new sales for 2035. And this is one of those regulations that are important that they be kept in line so that we actually achieve this. But of course you might ask, well, cars are still polluting. There's still lots of energy to produce these cars, and they're still there in the way. Aren't there better options? Do we really need cars? Well, we'll probably still need cars, but yes, we need to work on moving away from cars. But to be able to do that, we can't just tell people, oh, you should bike and take public transport more, if there is no public transport, or if there is no safe biking. So this is a picture from Paris. Paris is one of those cities that have managed to turn around. So I lived in Paris about 20 years ago. I would never dare to bike then, even if I was really liked biking, because I would feel like it would be threatening my life. Nowadays, there are more people that bike in Paris than that take the car. And why is it that? Because they have gone in and created infrastructure. They've created bike lanes, safe paths for people to be able to bike. So you have to, here is where politicians and people planning and so on have to create the conditions so that people can do the right choices. And then you have to support those people doing that. So for this, to be able to do this, we do need, as you've been hearing this morning, we do need collaboration. We need young people like you that continue working on these issues. We need teachers like the ones that are in here that can inspire and continue to help young people moving forward. We need brave politicians that can do strong regulations that are needed to be able to move forward. We need companies and industries that dare to change their business model to go in and do changes that are needed. We need civil society. And we need to be a little bit of a watchdog. Now, politicians are really good at saying nice words, as you have heard two politicians today. And they have been good at setting good targets, as you've seen in the EU, and even at national level in Sweden, and at local level, and so on. But we need to be on them. Targets are not enough. We have to make sure that they live up to those promises, that they actually implement and they continue to doing that. Because just because we have nice targets and regulations, the fight is not over. We have to make sure that the implementation is done and that they're not watered down, the regulations that are actually in place. Because we are all caretakers of this earth. And I'm really glad to see that you are here engaged and wanting to make a difference, because that's what we need to be able to take care of this planet that we have. So good luck, and I'm looking forward to working with you during the workshops and seeing what you continue doing this week and into the future.
Thank you, Francis Bray, for that enlightening keynote address. Next, we have the honor of hearing from another esteemed leader who plays a crucial role in shaping the future of sustainability through education. The Minister of Education of Sweden, Lotta Edholm, has sent us a special video message to share their perspective on the importance of education in achieving our goals for a sustainable future. Please join me in welcoming the Minister of Education of Sweden.
Hello, my name is Lotta Edholm, and I am the Swedish Minister for Schools. It's an honor for me to say a few words at your conference. As a society, we face major challenges, not least in terms of the environment and climate. How we're going to make resources last and equal access to education. The fact that you're having this meeting is really important. All change and development begins with education, which makes me particularly happy that you've chosen education as part of your conference theme. Here in Sweden, sustainable development is part of the school curriculum, all the way from preschool to upper secondary school, precisely because it's a priority issue and something all students should learn about. You are the first generation to grow up with climate change as an obvious reality. You've seen rising sea levels, extreme weather conditions, and an ecosystem under threat. But instead of feelings of hopelessness, you are clearly shown that you have the strength to act, including by participating here today. So, my call to you is this: keep engaging, share your thoughts, get involved in local projects and influence decision makers. Together you can make a real difference. I hope you enjoy a few interesting days together, get new ideas, gain knowledge and make new friends. Thank you for letting me be part of your conference, and thank you for your commitment to a better future.
Thank you to the Minister of Education for that inspiring message. We will now have a break. We have fruits at the back entrances of this room, and we will be back at 10:20. So in I believe. Thank you.
Vi kör lite livesändning.
a special presentation that symbolizes the unity and collaboration of our international community. The flag parade. It represents the diverse nations and cultures that have come together for this conference, all united by our shared commitment to a sustainable future. As each flag is represented, let us celebrate the spirit of global collaboration and the collective effort needed to address the environmental challenges we face. Please join me in welcoming the flag parade. Please welcome caretakers. Please welcome Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China. Please welcome Hungary. Please welcome Indonesia. Please welcome Ireland. Please welcome Mexico. Please welcome the Netherlands. Please welcome North Macedonia. Please welcome Portugal. Please welcome Scotland. Please welcome Taiwan. Please welcome Turkey. Please welcome the United States of America. And last but not least, please welcome Sweden. Welcome all countries to the CEI Sweden 2024. Thank you to all the countries for participating in this beautiful flag parade. Now it's time to welcome on stage two very special guests as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of the CEI Sweden branch. We are privileged to have with us the visionary founders whose dedication and leadership have been instrumental in our journey. Please join me in welcoming the founders of the CEI Sweden branch, Birgitta Nordén and Ingrid Adolfsson.
Thank you. Hello, all young masters, all dedicated teachers, educators, facilitators, and everyone who have made this possible to meet you here today. We are just the one who started the Swedish branch, but it's you who have made it continue, and Karin, not the least, But we are very happy that you are here and that you are participating, and some of you have been also in the online course. My name is Birgitta Nordén, and I'm one of the founders.
Yes, my name is Ingrid Adolfsson, and we have been to the conference in Scotland in 1994. And when I came home, I phoned Birgitta and asked, what about starting a Swedish branch? So we did. And you know, the knowledge of environmental problems is not so good in the world, and the arrogance is very great. And I hope you will get inspiration and energy so you can continue when you come home. It has given me a lot of energy participating in these conferences. Thank you.
So, as you can see the picture behind us, that is a picture from a conference in Aberdeen, 1994, which was just an outstanding conference, and we were so happy because Ingrid and I, we were taking interest in greening the schoolyard, and then Ingrid said to me, because you are the one that are giving me bright ideas, shouldn't we go abroad? Shouldn't we meet some people and learn more? And we did. And when we came to Scotland, we met lots of dedicated people, committed people, and we just understood this must continue, because this network that we met and all the knowledge made us feel that this is something that we want to share with our colleagues in Sweden and with our students. So the networking part is extremely important. And we did continue for years, and we did already in year 2000 host a Swedish conference in Lund with 78 countries participating, and ahead of that we had the Young Masters program. And you can say a little bit about that.
I was one of the creators of that program, and it was not too bad.
And here by our side is also our treasurer in the current board of the Swedish branch. And introduce yourself and tell about what you have experienced for the years, so we care to listen.
My name is Andreas Hög, and as you can understand, I was extremely inspired and excited when I met Birgitta and Ingrid. It was not in the summer of '69, but it was the autumn of '99, in the preparing phase of the CEI conference Birgitta mentioned just. And it was a very big privilege for me. I was a former secondary school teacher, young and new, outside Helja, here in Landskrona, just outside the town. It was an eco school at that time, and I had the privilege to bring my students to attend the CEI conference in Lund 2000, and later on 2002 in Torino, and 2006 in Dubai. And I understood directly that it was a very good chance for the students and the teachers to network and learn to know each other and understand different cultures, but also common challenges and so on you have in your life and in the environmental issues, and to learn from each other in different ways. So very important. And I'm very proud to welcome you all here in Landskrona, and that the CEI conference can continue, and we are a little part with our conference here 2024.
What we also want to just, what we also are a little bit proud of is that Sweden actually did host one of the first environmental conferences. So here is a table that you can't read, but I can just tell you that already in 1972 there was a conference in Stockholm, and they did emphasize the importance of working with the environmental challenges. And after that, UNEP was founded nowadays in Nairobi, and we have one representative active there from Netherlands, Julian, nowadays. But that was a starting point in a way. Thereafter, we had a Tbilisi conference that was focusing on education and environmental education and so on. And now we are just heading to trying to work with the Sustainable Development Goals and maybe also the inner development goals. What can we do from our energy, our enthusiasm, and so on? We will talk more about that during the workshops and the teacher sessions that we have later. What else? This conference here and the way we work in Caretaker Sweden is just to try to combine different sectors, to combine research with education and civil society. It's like a puzzle, you can see, where every piece of the puzzle must fit in. So we are focusing on, in particular, quality education. We want to learn more, we want young people to learn more, and to get in touch with the cutting edge of the latest knowings within research. We want to develop powerful knowings together. Here is a few pictures from some of the conferences. Who remember which conference this is? This is in 2001. We are in which country? Which city? Pietermaritzburg, South Africa. And here, 2002, a newsletter from a conference in Turin, and I must send greetings from Luisa Viglietta, who was the conference manager by that time. She's writing a book that soon will be available in English, and she's also telling me one chapter of the caretakers and the meaning of that for their part. This is from which conference? Poland. And you know that we often try to work transdisciplinary. We combine different forms of knowledge and art history and arts, music, everything gets together when we work transdisciplinary. And what have we learned from you? By offering you the Young Masters program, we got lots of response during the first 10 years when we had more than 10,000 participants taking the course. And then it has survived thanks to Karin, because we have been still giving it live for the latest years. And it was so interesting to see your response when you were working with the different chapters. So doing some research on this showed that it is urgent that we try to find the critical knowledge capabilities that we have and the force you have and how you can attack all the challenges that you have. So we did actually look for the global dimension by meeting you and having you investigating the local problems in your own city, your own country. So what else to say? What you have developed together with us is the Global Learning for Sustainable Development concept. It started, as also Francis mentioned, in the 70s with environmental problems, but later on we found out that we had to tackle sustainability challenges, but we couldn't do that on the local or national level. We had to combine it with a global perspective. And we do work today, you can see a picture of Karin and me, with student teachers in higher education, and they try to develop different activities for you and for their hybrid conference. So we have had some workshops at Malmö University. So there are many people who are involved in this conference route and in this project. And at the very end, we want to give a special thanks to all partners. Our main partners have already been mentioned, Landskrona Municipality, but we have so many other partners. And one of them that is exemplified by this picture is the Nordic Sea Farm that you might get the taste of, because they are very innovative in a way by taking care of algae, and they are developing delicious knäckebröd, some small bread pieces that you might taste during the week. And they also serve at the Nobel dinner this specific food that is built on algae. Vad heter det? earlier. Yeah, and anyway, they farm it in the sea, and they don't need any nutrition. They just put some long ropes, and the algae is growing, and they can harvest it like in February, March. And they get lots of protein and very nutritious food for us to eat. One of the partners. So that it is. So that's all I have to say, and to thank you. And I would like to give the microphone to Andreas.
Yes, once again, a special thanks to all our partners who have been so helpful for our conference to come it through in different ways. I think we give them a big applause.
Thank you, Ingrid, Birgitta, and Andreas, for your inspiring words and your visionary leadership over the past 30 years. Next, I would like to introduce the President of CEI International Board, Anne-Marie Begg. Please join me in welcoming her on stage.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Annie and I'm from Scotland. I'm delighted to be back here in Sweden for the 38th Conference of Caretakers hosted by Caretakers Sweden as the President of the International Board of Caretakers of the Environment International. It is an honour to be here in Landskrona with so many delegates from all around the world. The idea of young people from different parts of the globe meeting up to work together was first pioneered in the USA in Chicago in 1973. This led on in 1986 to the development of the idea and the founding of Caretakers of the Environment International, an opportunity for teachers and students to meet together to learn, to share ideas, and to work towards a more sustainable future. The very first Caretakers Conference was held in The Hague in the Netherlands in 1987. Why are we still here today, 38 years later? We are here because we still need to empower young people to help create a sustainable future. We believe that by developing a worldwide network of secondary school teachers and students who share the same environmental concerns and goals, we can make a measurable difference and move towards our goal of a sustainable future. We believe by facilitating joint educational projects that allow strategies to be developed for local issues, that we will enable delegates to act as ambassadors for the environment in their own country, and through international collaboration, move towards our dream, and have fun forging some lasting friendships along the way. Young people are one of the key stakeholders of the UN Agenda 2030 to meet the Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainable development that meets the needs of the present without compromising those of the future begins with respect for the future generations. Engaging and empowering youth to endeavour for a more sustainable future is vital. How can we do that? Young people can become agents of change by critically engaging with information, sharing ideas, having informed discussions, and advocating for policies that prioritise sustainability. With young people accounting for 16% of the global population, they are becoming a driving force in advocating for a low-carbon and climate-resilient future. Their growing involvement in environmental issues showcases their transformative power of advocacy and action. But what does that actually mean? Young people are the citizens of the future. They have the power to promote policies and consider the interests of future generations, thus ensuring that development objectives are aligned with environmental sustainability. You are Generation Z, the first fully digitally native generation, a generation that grew up with the internet as part of everyday life and with all the benefits that that can bring. This is now the 4th Caretakers Conference that has had a digital element. In 2020 and 2021, pandemic precautions determined that the conference would be wholly online. Since 2022, the conference has been hybrid, allowing even more young people to be part of the discussion and to contribute from the comfort of their own living rooms. The theme of this year's conference is education, regulation and collaboration. You began by boosting your educational knowledge by taking part in the Young Masters programme, and in the course of the conference you will have the opportunity to listen to experts in their field share their knowledge with you. Essential knowledge if you are to have the necessary tools to make a difference. You will hear about environmental regulations, costs and benefits, and also about how to use it effectively. But the most important aspect of the theme is collaboration. By creating a culture that values teamwork, open communication and collective problem solving, we can lay the path to sustainability. This week you will have lots of opportunities to work together, share ideas and make new friendships. I know it can be difficult if you're asked to speak in a foreign language, but the opportunity to practice your English is an important aspect of the conference. To see that learning a language in school is not just a paper exercise, but has real purpose. So be patient with each other and help each other to communicate without fear of ridicule. I would also like to take this opportunity to tell you a little about the International Board of Caretakers, most of whom you will have a chance to meet with and work with over the course of the week. The role of the International Board of the Caretakers of the Environment International is to select, advise and support countries wishing to host an International Caretakers Conference, to help teachers and students collaborate both nationally and internationally on environmental issues, and to support the development of national boards in partner countries. To this end, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce you to members of the board. If they could give a wave out if they're here. Is it possible to put the lights up in the auditorium? Maybe? Perfect. That's better. I can see people now. So I can introduce people, and if you can either stand up or just give a wave so that people know who you are, and feel free to approach any members of the board during the course of the week if you have any concerns or anything that you would like to suggest for the future. So, I am Annie Begg from Scotland, the current president. Julian Birkin from the Netherlands, our treasurer. You have already met him with his other hat as working with the Alumni. Nurten Selma Mesalongu, our secretary from Turkey. Jose Antonio Lopez Tercero, our incoming conference host from Mexico. Okwan Himpuni, one of last year's co-hosts from Indonesia. And of course, Karen Warren, from host of this year's conference. Board members who are unfortunately not with us at the conference, but hopefully you will meet if you join online at all, is Steen Makaputan from Indonesia, who is our Vice President, Ali Chuli Lin from Taiwan, and Marina Konopleva from Russia. We also have an Educators Advisory Board who help us with difficult decisions. Thomas Wong from Hong Kong, Tatiana Kozreva from Russia, who you might meet online, Bozina Kurzela from Poland, who will also be online, Ilse Pren from Austria, and Isabel Abrams from the USA, who is also one of the co-founders of CEI. So once again, I would like to thank these people for giving up so much time and energy helping us move forward. The journey for some of you has just begun, while for others they are maybe further along the road. But we are all heading in the same direction, towards the same goal, a sustainable future in a world at peace. You are not alone. You are part of the Caretakers family now. You are making a difference. So be proud of your achievements, enjoy the opportunities of the conference, share your ideas, make new friendships, but most of all, never forget that we are what we think. All that we are arises from our thoughts. With the right thoughts, we can achieve anything. Thank you.
Thank you dearly to Annie for your inspiring words. Next, I would like to invite someone who has been a dedicated attendee and participant in many CEI conferences, bringing valuable insights and perspectives to our discussions. Please join me in welcoming our very own Captain America, Wayne Schimpf, on stage. Yes.
For this activity, could I also have the house lights turned on? Okay. You've heard some exciting challenges, you've learned some exciting facts and so on, but how did this process start? In other words, this organization is the only one that I've been able to discover that is operated by the heart. In other words, it's all volunteers. You students that are here, you want to thank your teachers for being dedicated enough to care about you and your future. Now let's look back as to where this started. Back in 1953, I took a course at the Morton Arboretum from a naturalist called May Thielgard Watts on reading the landscape. And in 1973, I had a Ford Foundation grant to help develop environmental education at the southern tip of Lake Michigan. In 1970, I worked with Gaylord Nelson in starting the thing that you know that happens each year on April 22nd, Earth Day. And I helped plan and conduct the first activities in Chicago. And then the U.S. Commission for UNESCO asked me to visit the capitals in Scandinavia, Austria, Johannesburg, Nairobi, Athens, and Bucharest, Romania, to see what they were doing in the name of the environment and also conservation education. So in the summer of 1973, we hosted the first international conference on the environment for youth in the world. Ed Raditz of Oak Park River Forest High School, who was one of the founders of Caretakers of the Environment, along with Isabel Abrams and Arjen Walls from the Netherlands. And at the first conference that was held in The Hague, Netherlands, these accommodations that you have are Cadillac or Rolls-Royce compared to what we had. As we walked into the campground on the North Sea outside of The Hague, each two teachers that showed up were sent to a caravan that had 2 bunks in it, and the washroom and the cold water showers were across the field. As the youth came in, they had U.S. military squad tents with 12 cots in them. And so each student then was given and assigned to the tents. Dining was done in mess hall tents that the Army had set up. So things have evolved. And again, what I would also like to do here is to recognize all of the people, the teachers that have organized and hosted Caretakers conferences in the past. And now one of the things that I like to do now is to do what I call the calling of the years, so you can see who the people that if you have questions or want to know more about caretakers and how to become a more effective and efficient and fun-loving doer of environmental activities, what I'd like the entire audience to please stand up, students and teachers. Can you please all stand up and kind of... Okay, now what I'd like to do now is I call out the year that you be recognized and then sit down. And then you can watch and see who is standing up and so on. Now, for all you people that are first year attendees to the Caretakers Conference, smile, and as you please sit down, all the first year attendees. Okay, now you can look around, and those people that have attended 2 conferences, please sit down. Those people that have attended 3 conferences, please sit down. Those people that have attended 4 conferences, please sit down. Those people that have attended 5 conferences, please sit down. Those that have attended 6 conferences, please sit down. Those that have attended 7 conferences, please sit down. Those that have attended 8 conferences, please sit down. Now, those that have attended 9 conferences, please sit down. Those that have attended 10 conferences, please sit down. Those that have attended 11 conferences, please sit down. Those that have attended 12 conferences, please sit down. Those that have attended 13 conferences, please sit down. Those that have attended 14 conferences, please sit down. Those that have attended 15 conferences, please sit down. Geez, we still have some standing up. Those that have attended 16, please sit down. Those that have attended 17, please sit down. Those that have attended 18, please sit down. Those that have attended 19, please sit down. Those that have attended 20, please sit down. Those that have attended 21, please sit down. Those that have attended 22, please sit down. Those that have attended 23, please sit down. Those that have attended 24, please sit down. Those that have attended 25, please sit down. Those that have attended 26, please sit down. Those that have attended 27, please sit down. I guess the 2 young ladies I travel with are still standing. Those that have attended, 28, please sit down. Those that have attended 29, please sit down. Those that have attended 30, please sit down. And I'll sit down. I've attended 33 caretakers conferences, and I was also at the first one. So the exercise here is that there's a lot of knowledge about how to educate others. And so the people that were standing with multiple years, please ask them to join you at lunch, even though they're not with your delegation. Or please ask them to answer your questions in that. Because the way that you go and grow in your ability to create a more sustainable environment is adding to your knowledge base. And as one of my professors said, Wayne, you got to learn all the tips and tricks about improving the environment that you can. So please ask the senior members of caretakers their tips and tricks that has enabled them to sustain themselves all these years with the love of the environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne, for your continued dedication to the CEI conferences. Now, we would like to invite Nurten to do an in memoriam of our esteemed previous CEI president. This tribute honors their significant contributions and enduring legacy within our organization. Please join me in welcoming Nurten.
Dear caretakers from all around the world, now I'm here to celebrate the extraordinary life of a man who was much more than just a friend. He was a person with enormous knowledge and experience in environmental education, an inspiration, a mentor, a true caretaker, Dan Heinaki. Dan has inspired and impacted the lives of countless individuals during his many years of active involvement in CEI. His vision on environmental education and enthusiasm for youth engagement made him a leading figure within CEI in recent years, where he also served as president of the International Board. I first met Dan in 2012 during the conference in Netherlands, and I count myself very lucky indeed to have worked together with him in the International Board. I personally have learned a lot from his focus on building trust, friendship, and cooperation among people of different cultural backgrounds. His commitment to environmental stewardship, growing and evolving CEI, is something we will carry forward and continue. Although we will miss his company dearly, we are immensely appreciative of the unforgettable experiences and recollections we have shared. To honor his memory, CEI Indonesia prepared a video of our beloved friend. Thank you.
I come to say goodbye.
Where are you going?
It's a little trip.
Will I ever see you again?
Sure. Sure you can. You know, goodbyes aren't forever.
Goodbye. I love you. We are the caretakers.
Thank you to Nurten and CEI Indonesia for that touching tribute. Now we will move on to the introductions of the leaders. I am delighted to welcome Senior Alumni Jana, who will now introduce our family leaders. Please join me in welcoming them.
Hi, so very quickly, I'm going to start talking a bit about what the alumni are, but can the alumni come up on stage while I'm doing that, please? So all of you come up. So the alumni are basically, all of us are former students, so you probably saw us all standing for at least a few of those conferences. So we were once upon a time a student just like you, and our job is to help the organizer every single year. And this year we have a really nice mixture of both international and Swedish alumni, and they're going to lead a lot of the activities this week. So you met a lot of them already yesterday. So firstly, we have a group of senior alumni, so we're always here, and that's me. My name's Jana, I'm from Ireland. We have Julian from the Netherlands. Sam at the back will give you a little wave. He's busy doing the live stream for everybody online. And online as well, we also have Laura. So she'll see, the online participants will be seeing her kind of all week. And then we have international alumni here with us. So we have Vanya from North Macedonia, we have Aishagul from Turkey, and then we have all our Swedish alumni. So we have Anel and Dalila, and Maria and Mariam, wave wave. And then we also have Alma, who's not here right now, but you'll have seen her during the week. So during the week, you guys are going to be in what we call the Swedish family groups. So I'm going to see if you guys can all do a cheer for your group. So this week, there's a Persson group being led by Vanya. So if you're a Persson, give us a shout. Woo-hoo! Okay, I think maybe the next group are going to do better. Where are the Andersons with Aishagul? Give us a shout. And we have the Olsons with Dalila. If you're an Olsen, give us a cheer. Bit better, getting better. If you're a Johansson, you're with Maria. Yeah, nice and loud. If you're a Carlson, you're with Anel. Yeah! Very enthusiastic. And then finally we have the Nielsens with Mariam. So during the week, you guys will be taking part in a series of different games, and part of those games will be also awarding a winner at the very end of the week. So you'll see us again at the closing ceremony when we introduce the winner. But a big round of applause for these guys. They've been working hard for weeks preparing stuff for you.
Thank you all the family leaders, including me. As we conclude this opening ceremony, the last thing we will do for the opening ceremony, I invite everyone to join together in a meaningful tradition. We will now sing the Caretaker song, symbolizing our collective commitment to nurturing and safeguarding our planet for future generations. Please join your voices as we celebrate our shared responsibility and dedication to a sustainable future. thank you all for this opening ceremony. We will now move outside of the theater. I want everybody to gather outside the theater and make sure that you see your family leaders and all of the volunteers. So, thank you.